Hello, I'm Sarah Venza. Welcome to my Enter the Matrix speedrun guide for the Ghost levels. So this will cover all levels, but I will also be touching on very quickly on the difference between Ghost and Ghost all levels when we get to it. In the meantime though, let's go ahead and get this underway. So there is an auto-splitter, and the way I've gotten it to work is that I start the timing as soon as I hit the confirmation to make the very first save on closing time. So in case of overwriting previously existing saves, it would start as soon as you hit, you confirm to overwrite the save. If you're doing it from a completely blank save slot, it would be as soon as you confirm the slot that you're saving to. So it would start in 3, 2, 1, go. So the very first thing you want to do at this level is I'm going to go ahead and reset immediately, just so I can give myself a little bit more time to talk about it. You want to basically be running immediately, and then as soon as you get past this last table, you want to pull out your guns and then put them away. And then run past these guys, and go through this door. Skip this cutscene.
You're not supposed to be here.
I'm gonna go through here. And then through here. Yeah, so you don't even, you don't actually need to go through all of that, like, introductory stuff, going to the right, going through those cutscenes and all that stuff. You can just pull out your gun, raise a little bit of an alarm, and then, you can just immediately go straight to the directions you're looking to go to. It saves quite a bit of time, actually. But you want to go down here, and then the first thing you want to do here is do a focus jump to reduce the amount of climbing animation that you have to sit through. Do a sharp left turn here.
We spotted the suspect. Over here, I see him.
I should also mention, if you're playing on console and you're not doing this for like your very first few runs, I would recommend not saving the game. But if it is your first few runs, definitely make saves just in case. In case you have to like quit and reload the save. So that way you don't lose a bunch of progress as well, or like in the process. Although, again, if you're looking to optimize your times, not saving is ideal because it does take a little bit of time, and much more so depending on like which console you're playing on, if you're doing this on console. Although I am doing this run on PC and using the 1.2 patch, and I'll get into that when we get to the hardline. You want to jump over the table, grab the SMG that is up to the far right of the table, and then switch to it. There's a trick you can do here, and I will go ahead and try to show it off. It's a secondary box skip that Pascal found, but it's reliant on basically that guard there not dying and falling into the tiny box down there. If he does and knocks it over, then you can't just you can't quite jump. Ghost can't jump as high as Niobe can, unfortunately. So like there, like for instance, I don't think we can do it again. Oh, maybe we can actually. Hold on. Oh, weird. Okay, but no. Sometimes the boxes there can be completely knocked over, and it won't let you get up onto the maximum height there to do it. So you just have to do it as intended. So in which case you would just need to do like either like a regular focus jump like this, which actually I think was turned into a focus high jump. Focus high jumps are when you basically do the inputs to go forward, focus, and jump at the same time. Regular focus jumps don't give you the like boost in height, but there's also these things called focus long jumps, which is you jump first and then like almost immediately afterwards you press and hold or press and like pump the focus button, and then that'll give you like a longer jump. It's useful for some situations. Wait a minute. There we go. Redirected. So you kind of want to run towards this corner here. And then once you get past the shadow, like over here, you want to do a focus high jump if you can. At the very least, again, just to minimize the amount of fence climbing that you need to do, because it's a slow animation. Just run past all of these guys. Unlike for Niobe, you need to go over to this door. And then at this third left, you take over that, and then you kick through that glass. Sometimes you might need to jump over those guys. You might also need to do a focus jump to knock them over as well, depending on how close to the walls that they are. Gotta be able to adapt sometimes. Okay. Did not mean to extend that jump at all, but yeah, you kind of want to just get down to that area as soon as possible. Go down into here. Run past him. Got a very sharp left over here. And then hop over those. And then you want to curve your focus jump to reach the top of that fence there. Okay, and then on the other side of this load screen, you need to ideally avoid that table. You can just go up on it, but you're going to probably be stuck by the mailbox bin, or the mail bin, or whatever it is. And you also need to kill those two guys in order for the elevator doors to open there. And then as you approach the PO box here, pull out your gun. Flashing focus, and then shooting your gun will actually usually give you a sort of aimbot benefit. And in this scenario, it'll also one-tap the cards. So unlike for Niobe, you can also just jump and hit the interact key to trigger that a little bit faster. You want to go left as Ghost here instead of right. And this is also going to take like 10 to 13 kills, so we're at 6, 7, 8, 9. Need one more probably, maybe. 10. Okay, heard the door. So that was good RNG right there. But yeah, I can take like between 10 and 13, I think. Unless you were like massively unlucky. Yeah, I think the spawns are like part RNG and part camera-based. So if you just roughly follow what I was doing there, you should more or less be okay. But again, there is some degree of randomness to it all, so do bear that in mind. Okay, cutscene there. You want to jump off there. I like to turn a little bit to the right as I'm doing it to reduce the amount of just so I can like hit the ground and get back to running a little bit faster. Jump over that thing. Run past all of these guys. Want to squeeze past them, squeeze past these guys. And then I like to just do a focus jump over these guys. Sometimes it'll actually knock them over, and it's funny, but it's neither here nor there. And then... oh! That is not what you want to do. If you're going to be doing the jumping maneuver, you kind of want to do it that way and strafe your way up there. But that little bit is, admittedly, a somewhat awkward bit of movement, I will admit. And then you want to jump across these cubicles there, and then make your way out. And now you are at the mercy of Niobe's driving, which is admittedly a bit random. And we're also driving this fast because of the 1.2 patch, which you can download at speedrun.com under the resources tab. But yeah. This level can get very hectic really easily, so just do expect that to happen. Even without the 1.2 patch, it can happen to get like really hectic at times. And it's just, yeah. You're also traveling so fast that the bullets might not be shooting exactly where you're aiming, so you might need to adjust accordingly. Yeah, welcome to Ghost as Passenger. So instead of taking the normal like thing you would do, well, I mean, you wouldn't do that. You'd ideally want to jump, and then that jumping there would actually trigger this diving animation, which is pretty slow, and you kind of don't want to sit through that. So we're just going to SD again really quick and then show off what you should do instead, which is honestly, I found the easiest way to handle it is to just go a little bit to the right and then jump from there. And if you need to, you can also use a little bit of focus pumping to extend your jump a little bit. If you're not feeling too safe, or if you know that you didn't get far enough. Skip that cutscene. Jump onto that ladder, just a regular jump. You don't need to do a focus jump at all. It doesn't save any time, really. Not there anyway. You're going to want to jump here, and then jump basically at the last second. Focus, do some focus pumping to extend your jump there if you need to, or just straight up hold focus the entire time. Whichever is more comfortable for you, so long as you get up here. And if you should happen to not get up here, if you should happen to fall down here, what you can do is get up onto this box, grab that ledge, go over there this way, and then jump there, and that'll reduce the amount of ladder climbing that you need to do. Now, if you're on PC, or on PS2, I'd recommend taking this route. Otherwise, because of how turning your character is on console, like for Xbox and GameCube, I'd recommend just running a bit towards the agent at first and then turn left. And that's answer the phone. You want to make sure you grab this gun that's on the floor there. Go ahead and switch to it, actually. And this bit of movement can be a little bit tricky because there's going to be a few NPCs coming out of this little corridor here. I like to jump in advance. It seems to give me better time getting around them. Focus jump over those guys. Focus jump over these civilians. Focus jump over those SWAT guys. And then you want to turn left into here. Go through this door. That's the next level. Grab those stun grenades and also grab all the MP5 ammo there that you can. You basically want at least 90 shots there. Although if you're not feeling super confident in that, you can also just take these guys out and get their ammo too. But it is possible to one-cycle the SWAT helicopter boss that's right over here. I don't think that was good. Damn, we're not gonna quite get it in two. I don't know guns in terminology. I think it's magazines worth. I could very well be wrong. But you can actually start shooting those guys like as soon as the door starts opening, because at that point it's kind of like not actually there, as far as the bullets are concerned. So here you want to pull out your gun, enter focus, and then enter first person mode. And then hold focus initially, and then maybe adjust your positioning a little bit in case you, you know, get blocked off by the level geometry. You don't really need to knock him down, but not the worst idea either if you are getting ammo. You definitely want to knock him down and grab his gun, though, because the SG-552 is going to be really, really good for the agent helicopter fight. And you'll see very quickly why it's so good when we get to it. Skip that cutscene. And then here you kind of want to avoid using focus if you can help it, because going into focus slows down the game and makes the run slower in real time. So what I like to do is I like to do throws, which is kick and punch, but with the gun out. So instead of actually throwing them, because you would have the gun out, you'd actually just shoot them in one shot since you're on easy anyway. Actually, yeah, it's the same way even on the harder difficulties as well. If you enter in close quarters combat like that, but you go to pull your gun out there, on harder difficulties it's not a guaranteed one-shot, but here, if you're doing the gun throws, then it is a guaranteed one-shot. It's definitely a bit awkward, but you also kind of want to be making sure to grab ammo from these guys. I like to have at least 9 shots with the entry shotgun for the terminal level. But once you've gotten pretty much everybody, you think you need to just kill everybody, but yeah. Once you've gotten the whole restaurant cleared of enemies, then you get yourself onto the piano and then wait for the ladder to be within reach, and then the cutscene will trigger. So there's just a guy there. There's another one behind this pillar. Want to jump down here. Get rid of those guys. Do little bunny hops up the escalator. Take care of these guys. There's going to be another guy over in the distance there. Once you've gotten rid of them, you can hop down, open the door to the left, and then hook over to, continue to the left. And then you want to jump on this thingy here. And then you want to grab onto this ledge. And then continue down that ledge until you clear the level.
What is your field of fire? Top of the stairs. I've got the run.
You want to make sure you get that guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then you want to switch to the sniper. And then I like to do a kill throw with him. And then, yeah, then you need to shoot at the front tire of the plane here with, ideally, the sniper rifle. Could be a bit tricky to like line up sometimes, but once you have it, switch back to the SG-552, and then get yourself standing on this metal platform here. And then hold focus or pump it, and then shoot the agent helicopter and win. Nice and easy.
Hey, go.
And then here, if you're playing on the 1.2 patch, you have a you have a lot of leeway because you will drive faster than the plane goes, so you can just look at it from behind. But make sure you don't go too far away from it, otherwise you will fail the level. If you're playing on retail or on console, though, all I can say is just try your best to avoid, you know, you just kind of play the level as normally, I guess, but the best tips that I can offer is, like, when you have, like, really rough turns or when you go airborne, you want to, like, take your proverbial foot off the proverbial gas pedal to make your turns a little bit easier and not, like, crash the heck out. But, like, once you are around here and you see this bump right there, that's, like, the trigger for when you're clear to, like, floor it again. And then there's going to be some enemy spawning here. And then you want to go over this way. There are alternate paths that you can take. Alternate paths that you can take, but this is just what I'm the most comfortable with, personally. And seems to give me the best results. You want to not be, like, flooring it when you ram into those fences, by the way. Also, ew. Oh gosh, I am completely pinned. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I guess this can happen. Yep. So yeah, those guys are pretty brutal, even on easy, so... That's okay, that's a pretty good demonstration of things that can go wrong. Yeah, you basically just don't want to get too far away from the plane, otherwise you fail the level, like, until you have the little bit where Sparks is like, someone just fell out of the plane. It's Axel, he's got a parachute. But yeah, once you're, like, here and then you see that little bump, the trigger, then you're good to go again. So. Yeah, this level is definitely, even with the 1.2 patch, it's still a very annoying level. So if you have played this game in the past and you remember, you have nightmares of this level, like I'm sure a lot of people probably still do. It's still a rough one. Not really, I'm not gonna bother trying to sugarcoat that, but yeah, once you get to this point, you're again on a bit of a time-sensitive bit. I say that, but you can actually safely go ahead of the agent car. You just can't fall too far behind it. Unlike with the plane, you can, yeah, you can just go all the way to the end of the level and beat the agent car to the end of the level. You'll be absolutely fine. I think, anyway. The matrix code may have been an indicator that it may not be all that okay. I could be wrong, though. Either way. And again, if you're playing on console, or just the retail version of the game without the 1.2 patch, then on PC, then yeah, just do your best there. That's really the only advice I can give. Don't be afraid to take your foot off the proverbial gas pedal. So you want to jump here, and then while you're in the air, you want to pull out your guns, and then you'll grab onto the ladder. Want to kill that first sniper, and then make sure he drops his rifle, because I've had it sometimes where he doesn't drop it. And then something you can do here, a cheeky little maneuver, if you're feeling a little bit ballsy and want to optimize your time, is you can jump onto the railing and then focus jump onto the ladder. Saves a little bit of time. And then you can utilize the aimbot function of focus, and yeah, then you can just go take this normal path as you typically would, or you can instead, if you're feeling particularly brave and you want to save a little bit of extra time, you can just jump onto the railing of this catwalk here, and then jump or drop down there. You want to make sure that you're like falling down along that section of wall, otherwise you will have fallen too far, basically. Because there's just a little bit of elevated flooring there that prevents you from dying, thankfully. So, yeah. Pull out your gun, enter your focus, and then enter first person, and then do the same thing here. Wonderful aimbot function. Whoa, hello. Throw the grenade, switch to the SS shotgun. Okay, and now it's time for pumped. So this has one of the trickier tricks in the runs for both Ghost and Niobe. The levels are pretty identical, so if you are possibly coming from the Niobe guide that I just did, it's going to look rather familiar. But, yeah, that's kind of like how I like to handle it, I think. Oh, gosh. I think hopefully this will work. Oh, baby, look at that height. Yep, cleared it. Okay, so basically, let's go ahead and SD to reset the level here. Oh, gosh. Run, focus and run at the wall. If you need to, like, reset to practice, that's a good way to do it. That bit of thing there has a bit of, like, steam or something that'll, like, slowly kill you. You also want to avoid going that path if you're at really low health after successfully doing the grenade jump there, because that can kill you. I have seen that happen to 2-year-olds, or maybe, possibly, maybe not, don't want to drop any other... I think I've seen other runners. I've definitely died there myself too, so I'm not just gonna single anybody out, but like I like to stand on this tile, I guess, it's this tile, and then run, focus jump, and then look at that height. Holy moly. That's a thing of beauty right there. But yeah, if yeah, that's a really tricky skip to do. I'm honestly making it look way easier than I have had a time doing it lately, because I have not been so consistent in my recent run attempts. So, yeah, I guess the points I really want to emphasize about it are, let's actually do an example here. So, you want to, ideally, if you want to, like, shoot the gun as you're turning the corner and, you know, tap focus and all that. If that barrel happens to explode, so let's just say you turn the corner and then, bam, that barrel explodes. You would have to climb this ladder, as intended, I guess. You know, dispatch any of those guys, stand on this tile, look towards roughly there, throw the grenade, and then do the jump. And then you can kind of see where the invisible wall ends. If I pull out the sniper rifle really quick. It's basically at the, that line right there. You want to make sure that you get enough height to clear that line. And then if you can do that, then you are, you'll be good to go. You can sometimes also land on the invisible wall. I know for Niobe, you also, she doesn't have the benefit of being able to release focus and come out of bullet time the way Ghost seems to be able to. So she would have to, like, direct over to a small ledge right there, which would get you out of bullet time. But yeah, this is Ghost, so you don't really need to worry about that too much. Although you can still apply that same principle if you want. Basically, want to just follow the movement that I did just then. You want to start focus pumping right around here. Go around these guys. Hold your gun out, then jump onto the ladder. Okay, I got a twofer in there. Okay, and then make sure you have your gun out before you actually go to climb these ledges. Then you want to destroy these braces. You don't need to kill those guys, but I like to just for safety because I have had it to where Ice and or Corrupt were like at pretty low health, and they've been killed as I'm waiting for the thing that's going into the ground to, you know, do its thing and blow up the grate that's blocking you, you know, your path to clearing the level. So I just do that as a safety precaution. Run past those three guys. You might get stuck on some invisible wall right there. You want to do a focus long jump there and then slowly back up there. Grab the gun with the flashlight and then wait for the grenade to explode and then kill those two guys. Get these two guys out of your way. And then you don't need the flashlight unless you, like, actually need it to see. Which, no judgment at all. Just to get your bearings. Basically, as soon as you see that thing right there, you want to do a grenade throw and run over here, jump there, and then that will get Worm out nice and quick. And then, this is where you really want to start using focus pumping. So you don't have to do it quite the way that I'm doing it. You could also just go down the trench as well. That will also get the job done, although it's arguably a lot less safe. You want to do another focus long jump there to avoid the slower diving animation that you would normally incur there. And then once you're at this point, you want to take the left path and then do another focus long jump. Quickly descend the ladder. Grab onto this pipe. Want to do another focus long jump and then hook to the left. That actually skips that whole slow line climbing thing that the game kind of intends for you to do. And then you can jump to avoid the knockback from this explosion, but I prefer not to, personally. I just find it gives me a little bit of a better time, personally. And then again, if you need to take the flashlight out to get your bearings, there's absolutely no shame in that. You can kind of expect to do some focus pumping here, although it's not always necessary. It's still not the worst idea. thread the needle between those guys, do a regular jump here, then do an extended jump there. Do some more focus bumping, and then here, I like to do actual focus jumps for so I can minimize my damage taken, because this next stretch is kinda, it can definitely still be deadly even on easy. So, I like to jump there to keep my health regen going. So you see it's like very slowly ticking up there. Health regen basically, so long as you're not in a focus jump, or you are not taking damage, or as long as you're not doing any like focus moves, basically, you should be regenning your health very slowly, after over a period of time. I don't know exactly what the time is. I probably ought to know, but yeah, basically just try to do your movement like that if you are somewhat low on your health. And again, obviously, do focus pumping and whatever you need to do to survive. If your health is really low, something else that you can do is just kind of change little focus hops like that. And then that'll, like, disengage, you know, your enemy's targeting so long as you are still airborne like that. And then hold and spam focus as you get closer to where you need to be. Kill that sniper. Kill that sniper, and then switch to the sniper rifle yourself. Kill the two dudes on that catwalk. Okay. There are two guys on the left that spawn there. Go ahead and release focus a little bit, let him get a little bit closer to you. That was a mess. There we go. So yeah, that Malachi and Bane 2 should look pretty much like that. Now, unfortunately, Ghost's attacks don't allow for that very clean 1-2-3 punch that Niobe's do. So you kind of want to just mix up your combos a little bit to reduce your knockback, but also like maximize damage. And then I also like to enter first person to turn the camera around so I can face where I want to be going after the kill animation has finished. That's like a little micro optimization. You kind of probably don't need to do that, especially if it's like your very first time running the game. But that's just something I like to do because I'm weird like that. And then, yeah, Ghost has a lot more required kills than Niobe, and this is like the biggest like place where it happens. I like to at least knock down the guy with the entry shotgun there for safety reasons, but, you know, if you like to live wild, if you're recklessly wild and I can't hold you back, then I can't hold you back. But yeah, expect the floor to fall out from underneath of you here. Do a little focus jump and then curve right. Start climbing the wall. Same thing there. You just want to get onto the wall before that werewolf dude can get anywhere close to you. So that way he doesn't knock you off the wall as you're trying to climb it.
nowhere to go this time.
And then this bit can be a bit awkward because the flames do seem to, in my experience, affect how quickly you can actually kill these guys. It's just really weird and obnoxious. So, like, yeah. Also like to back up a little bit, give myself some extra room to work with. And then something I've personally found, because like the door opening at the end of this level is kind of random, I feel like it's a safe-ish idea to go ahead and at least kill one of those guys, and I like to prioritize killing him by knocking him off of the balcony. And then I just typically run through here and hope that the door actually opens at the end, but it can still sometimes not actually open. It's kind of RNG dependent, and that's a good idea that's why it's a good idea to make saves, especially in the chateau. But for Secret Passage 2 especially. Because, yeah, those double doors can just sometimes not be opened. That guy will just not spawn, and it's really obnoxious. You're gonna find this guy here. Turn around. Yep, there we go. Crossbow in hand. You want to make sure you have it out here. Be stationary, by the way, when you're using the crossbow. Seems to give you way better accuracy. But you want to basically step off the stage and go right back up onto it. And then kill that guy. Knock that guy down over if you need to. Run past these guys. You can also just backstab him if you feel like it. It does cost a little bit of time, but it's also funny. Okay, so why not do it? Yeah. If that's how you approach your Enter the Matrix speedrunning adventures. I love that kill animation, that's so cool. I wish Niobe had something a bit more like that. But, yeah, Cujo fight. So he's not going to take the fight very seriously until you want to basically use regular combos until you, like, whittle him down to half health, basically. At which point you want to switch to focus kick combos, specifically, like, when you're directing them towards him. And you also want to wait until he's like back on the ground before you initiate another one. But also maybe not fall into the greed trap of you know, flashing out of focus really quick, because he can actually just break out if you do that. I've had that happen quite a few times, so it's better to just hold focus the entire time and play it safe, as opposed to losing like 45 plus seconds. In the event that he does break out. For Cain and Abel, what I like to do, I guess, is just do a flying sidekick to that, and then just kind of knock them down. Grab him, prisoner. There you go. Good job.
Get your hands off me!
Get your hands off me. Love that line. But yeah, once you've gotten Cain and Abel contained and disabled, just grab Niobe and be on your merry way. Okay, so Twins in Pursuit, if you're playing on the 1.2 patch on the PC version, this can be quite a bit hectic, and it is possible that you may actually end up dying because you might get stuck on cars or level geometry. And the Twins and Cops can actually just get you. But hopefully that doesn't happen. That tends to happen a whole lot less, I feel like, on console and retail versions of the PC, or the retail patch, I guess, like unpatched, I guess. Just that's what I mean by retail in regards to the PC version. But yeah, something like that. Only Niobe can just refuse to, like, unstuck herself, and it's really annoying. But, yeah, that's kind of just a hope and pray level. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. So, fun fact about Trinity, she was able to fly before Matrix 4. All you need to do is just use the double uppercut maneuver on her, and she is really susceptible to it. And then you can also sometimes kick her when she's down and landed for a little bit of extra damage. She can sometimes just block it though, and you know, you just gotta roll with the punches, as it were. But yeah, Trinity is really susceptible to the double uppercut. Otherwise, you can also just lose to her. Both are pretty fast, honestly. Thankfully, the freeway isn't too annoying as Ghost. Like, you can probably even, like, use this as a bathroom break if you need to. Just, you know. Just things to consider, I guess. Also, you want to kind of aim ahead of where the vehicles are if you want to actually destroy them, because you are moving so fast usually. And this actually also applies to console and retail as well. But you kind of want to wait, at least for the cop cars, to blow those up until you are, like, just getting past them, so that way their carcasses, unintended, don't, like, explode in front of you and cause you to, like, slow down a bunch or collide with them. It's really annoying if they do. So yeah, just try not to shoot at them until you are past them, if you can help it. Also, yeah, sometimes Niobe doesn't really handle the 1.2 patch very well. Can't fault her for it. I don't handle it very well sometimes either. Although, to her credit, I will say that she handles the truck level with a lot better grace than I ever could when I'm playing as Niobe. So, fair dues. And I'll even go ahead and make a quick little joke here. Let Sparks have a little line here. You know what? Neither can I. I'm closing my eyes. I'm covering my eyes with my hands.
Better hurry, you're running out of time.
I'm actually watching now, but just to be ready to skip the cutscene. But yeah, that's basically you can just literally do that. Okay, so Reactor Foundation. This is, oh my god, there are so many ways that this can go wrong, and I'm gonna try and, like, go into each one of them because, oh my god. So they're not immediate, but yeah. want to get onto that ladder, and then you just want to follow this path that I'm taking here. Jump up onto the sledge, drop down here, and then push the button. And after you do that, you want to do a jump over to this ledge. You will need to focus to do that. That cutscene will knock you off of that ladder, unfortunately, no matter how high up you may travel it, so don't even bother. Just get to the ladder, and then just wait for the cutscene, then skip it, and then do the thing. Do aimbotting. Except for that fourth guy up there, you do need to actually aim at him yourself. There's going to be a guy there, and a guy that comes from there. That was too early, that was too late. In the shoulder. Don't be afraid to release focus for a little bit. Let these guys actually like spawn in and start moving a little bit. Let's see if I can shoot him in the... I'm not close enough to the thing. So... What? Oh, must be another guy over here, or he moved his way over to one of the pillars already. Okay, that should be the last one. There we go. And then I think we need to kill these two guys, pretty sure anyway. I just like to do gun throws with them. And then for these two guys, you can just blast at them. They die pretty easy. And then here is where things start to get, like, you need to take your time a little bit. So you need to actually wait for this first guy over here to get into position before you actually kill him. Otherwise you will soft block. And then once you start seeing Niobe and like she clears that platform, or the pillar rather, that you just saw her cross over to, you're good to go pretty much. If you move too quickly and you get out of range of her, she will just start dying. And also you need to make sure you go down this path, basically nearly one at a time. Otherwise you will die. It sucks so much. Oh my god, I hate it. Those are lessons learned the hard way. Please spare yourself that pain and do not try to, like, take shortcuts there. I'm surprised I didn't die from just hopping that one. To be completely honest, that's very unforgiving. The Reactor Foundation levels as Ghost. It is so bad. But, anyway, once you were past those, actually we're not quite at nuclear shipping yet, so that's not technically correct. Grab that health pack just because. Yeah. Basically, you want to run up to the left side, get onto these boards here. Climb up here, pump the heck out of that focus button as you're running down this length here. Okay, skip this cutscene, run forward, unlike with Niobe where you would have had to go right first.
Get him now.
If the sniper is actually accurate enough to hit you, then feel free to do some focus pumping out here, but for the most part you should be pretty much okay until you get into here. Okay, and then for me, anyway, I know when I get to this cutscene and then I skip it, I have like a dozen error messages that we need to dismiss, so you'll kind of see what I mean here. I just do that with spacebar. And then I just like to hit the Windows key personally and then click back into the game after I put the launcher away, because, yeah, the game's a bit weird sometimes. And then I like to kill this guy for his SG as well. It's a safety measure, and also it's a good weapon to have for later on. You want to turn the corner there, kill those first two dudes. Oh gosh. My health regen, no! Okay, we're good. But yeah, there's enemies basically around every corner. And this is definitely one of the hardest levels in the run. There's no two ways around it. I also like to kill the guys with the SS shotguns, because that is a really good weapon to have. It is a fantastic crowd control weapon, and it's, yeah, really good to have for the nuclear waste sector later. Again, just a whole lot more focus pumping. There's a guy with an SS shotgun there, so you should have roughly about that much ammo then. It's not strictly necessary, but it's still good to have. And then hopefully the game isn't mean and decides to take all of your weapons as soon as you get to the nuclear waste sector. I have had it do that to me a few times. Typically only on console does it do that to me, but it's still something to be aware of. It can happen, and it's very annoying. But if you are lucky enough to keep your weapons, what I like to do is kill that first guy up to the left, so that way he's not shooting the door and keeping it open. Also like to pick up their weapons while we're waiting on the doors to close and this one to open. Basically, kind of want to be pumping focus the entire time all throughout here. Because it's real easy to die in this level. Oh my god, buddy. It was easy for them to die. God. You want to do an actual focus jump there? Take your gun out. Kill those two guys, I guess. Yeah. Probably just hide until that door closes all the way. Then progress. Do a little hop there. That tank over there usually explodes at that point. Who do you think you are, buddy? Neo? Okay, and then here, if you still have the launcher, I like to fire off a shot there. Oh gosh. Stop it. Stop punching, Ghost. That's not funny. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, this is a very annoying level sometimes. But once you're at this point, you don't want to get too close because you will be in range of the explosion. But you want to blow those tanks up and do it quickly enough to actually kill all those guys. Otherwise, you know, just shoot at them individually. Okay, so then there are, you need to kill this guy, and then this guy, and then there's another one to the right over here. Entry shotgun's pretty good to have here as well. These guys usually die to one hit from it. It's also like one weapon away from the sniper as well, so it's pretty helpful and pretty quick to swap to. kill these 3 guys. Then the next wave of enemies at your level. Oh gosh, sorry, my mouse pad is like all screwed up. I say mouse pad, it's actually just a composition notebook at the moment, so it's a bit awkward to be, put it plainly. Get that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy. And then that should be level cleared. Okay, and then make your way over here. There's going to be SWAT guys spawning in from each of these doors. Sometimes they like to hide in their little cubby doors. Once you get the agent to spawn in, he usually spawns in from about here. Lure him over here, and then knock him into the broken server that you just shot up. Grab the health pack too. And then try not to use too much focus here because you will immediately be going into the Seraph fight. But if you're doing just Ghost, then you can just go ahead and lose him by wedging yourself up against a wall. But if you are looking to beat him and do all levels, just kind of hope he doesn't block all of your attacks and, yeah, something like that. That can be a bit annoying sometimes. He can just block it really inopportune times and it's really annoying. But once you do beat Seraph, just go through Vertigo as you kind of normally would. Just pretty much follow this path that I'm taking. I'd recommend not running past that Agent Smith. Instead, I'd recommend kicking through that window. You can also jump there, and you will go through a dive animation, but it's slow. You can also take a shortcut here instead of going around. It's usually pretty safe to do. And then here's where things can start to get a little dangerous. So you want to do focus jumps, but you want to avoid touching the scaffolding while you're in the air. Otherwise, you will lose your forward momentum, and it really, 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 really sucks. Otherwise, you can just go around. I'll just go ahead and show you a safer, less shortcut-oriented route for you. Basically, the more intended route that you would take. That significantly reduces the chances of you dying, but here, I'll show you the diving animation there. It works, but it's a little slower. But yeah, instead of going through there and, like, risking a confrontation with Smith if you're not comfortable with that, you can just, you know, jump across there, go through here to go around him, and down this ramp. And you can take a quick little shortcut there. Go through here. There's a Smith to your right over there. Be aware of that. He's usually more focused on shooting you than he is like trying to like kick you off of the scaffolding, thankfully. But I think I have had him like actually kick me off once before, so it's something to be aware of as a possibility. Once the Smith bursts through the wall here, you want to wait for him to like actually enter the room proper before you start moving towards him, or past him rather, to the elevator. You want to turn around, go through this door. And once you go through here, you're going to want to just jump off of that through there, and then get through here. It's a little bit faster. When you see the red door open there, you can just flying side kick him or just focus jump over him and knock him down. Either way, you just want to get past him as quickly as possible. Okay, on foot. This is probably the easiest skip in the entire run, by the way. It skips literally the whole level. So you, instead of turning left, you actually just turn right towards the two Agent Smiths that are shooting at you, and then climb up the ladder to the level exit. And then jump about there, and then turn, and if you grab that ledge, though, you would turn, and then otherwise you kind of hope that you grab the one that's actually facing the door, but either way, you just want to... hi? I've never re-grabbed that ledge there before. That was awkward. Yeah, you kind of want to do a little bit of focus pumping when you're going down the street. Maybe do a little bit of focus running even. Oh, wow. You cannot even do that. Wow, I don't think I've ever had that explosion kill me like that before, but okay. I guess you kind of want to... I don't know. It's weird. Okay, good example of things that can go wrong, I guess. Just want to hug this wall either way. That truck usually explodes there. You want to... AC skip is a pretty simple-ish maneuver that you can do that Two Worlds found. You just want to grab onto the AC. Ideally be a little bit to the left so that you have some time to make sure you're actually starting to move to the right before you go jumping to the right. Otherwise it's possible that you might just end up falling off instead of jumping, and it's annoying. Because when you're in that little section of the level, you are taking periodic damage. Or just damage over time, rather. So it's, yeah, a bit rough, but it's also not too hard. It's definitely one of the easier, like, shorter skips that you can do. Like, I saw Two Worlds do it, and then I was just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna bear that in mind. That looks pretty good. And I've just been doing it ever since. Once you, like, if you haven't, like, really played the game before, goodness knows, I was, these levels gave me some anxiety, to be sure, the first time playing the game. Because I was like, I have no idea where I'm going, and there's Smiths everywhere. I'm pretty sure that's, like, a universal experience, though, so... Once you know where you're actually going, it's definitely nowhere near as bad. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there we go. We're on the church now. Yep, you want to take a right up there. Jump up these stairways. You want to turn left here, turn left again, and then after this, you want to turn right up these stairs. You want to make sure you do a good focus jump here, clear that fence, jump a little early, so that way you can chain your two jumps there. Take the left up these stairs. Do not take the second left, because there are a couple of Agent Smiths waiting for you there. They will most likely mess you up for a little bit and toss you around like a rag doll, and that's very embarrassing, and it loses a lot of time. And then Tunnels of the Real. This is thankfully not nausea-inducing, however, it is unfortunately slower, even despite the fact that it's like the same levels and, you know, you're on rails. It's like a bit of a trade-off, unfortunately. So, yeah, you just need to make sure that you are shooting at these sentinels as best you can. Funny enough, actually, you can just kind of like find a nice position kind of like this and just maintain it the entire way through. And the sentinels, like, pathing will just usually take them right into your line of fire. If you have a good line of fire set up already. It can take a little bit of adjusting to, like, get it down, but once you have it, you're pretty much good to go, and then you just switch view as necessary. According to, you know, the HUD at the top. That'll indicate, you know, if there's any squiddies coming from the front or the rear. And then sometimes the Logos will actually just outrun the Sentinels as well. And then you'll get like instances where you go to switch view and then, you know, they're just immediately right back behind the goo. Kind of like that. That or they'll just be destroyed like that. Just like with the rest of the run, though, you gotta be ready to adapt. Ready and able to. And then it's not quite this one, but it's like the next one. I guess after these next few turns is when this level will conclude. Yeah, that's right about here is when this level concludes. Nature's code starts falling now. And now you are in the rabbit hole. And again, it's more of the same stuff. Just, you know, get yourself a good alignment for pretty reliable shot lineups, and then you're pretty much good to go. Squiddies will just fly themselves into your shots, and it's real convenient. Mostly, anyway. Shouldn't have to be, like, adjusting your aim too much. It's mostly just micro-optimizations where necessary. Sorry for the grunts and stuff. My PC setup is not what I'm used to. It's kind of a little bit uncomfortable at the moment, so I'm just kind of making do with what I have. But yeah, you're probably seeing, if you're coming from the Niobe guide that I had did, or just the runs, I guess, that I've done, just how much slower this is as Ghost than it is as Niobe. But after a while, it's going to transition from the squiddies to the homing explosive that they send out after you. At which point, I think it's honestly pretty easy, even on hard. But I'll kind of show that off when we get to it. We're coming up to it fairly soonish. Yeah, right there. So yeah, there's the explosive that they shot off or fired at us. You basically want to just aim directly at it, and then you just kind of hold that position. Just keep shooting at it. It's gonna take a couple more minutes for the level to finish. Ish. But yeah, as we continue shooting at it, it's just gonna appear to shrink as it gets further and further away from us. And eventually all you'll be seeing is the little particle effects of the shots actually hitting it. And maybe a tiny little speck on the screen that represents it. Thankfully, also, if you want to get a kind of gauge where you are, you can switch back. Words are hard, y'all. You can just switch back to the front view and then kind of glean from that, here, that the level is going to end in right about now. And, yeah, those are the ghost levels. Hopefully that was a good enough and comprehensive enough guide for anybody looking to learn Enter the Matrix for the ghost levels. If there are any questions, you can feel free to ask them in the comments. I will also have I'll have links to the Matrix speedrunning Discord in the video description and in the pinned comment, as well as a link to the Enter the Matrix speedrunning, or the speedrun.com page as well, and you can find all the other guides and resources and stuff, all that good jazz, and that part of the interwebs. But yeah, again, I hope this was good and insightful, educational, helpful. Even if only one person watches this guide and picks the game up and you know, does even just a single run, I will be completely happy with that. Even if not, that's completely fair. Either way, until the next video, thank you for watching.